Hi, and welcome to episode number 24 of Life Without Cravings. Today, I want to introduce you to the 7 steps that I use to break carb addictions as pain-free as possible. What I want to offer you is these 7 things. If you do them and you implement them in your life, you're going to be able to just be relaxed around the food. So we often think about carb addiction as being a condition that is a lifelong curse for some people, and just something that you have to learn to manage and have to learn to live with on a daily basis for the rest of your life. And I want to give you an alternative to that. Having been addicted to carbs and no longer struggling with it, I want to offer you a completely different solution that isn't dependent on you avoiding hanging out with friends who like to eat binge on cakes or bread or whatever, or avoiding social situations because there will be lots of carby foods there, walking into the lunchroom at work and just eating your lunch outside because you know that there are going to be things in there that are free for all, just grab and go, eat it, and you don't want to do that. So we don't want to paint this picture where we have to live in some sort of different prison just to try and stay away from the carbs. What I want to offer you is these 7 things. If you do them and you implement them in your life, you're going to be able to just be relaxed around the food, even the carby ones, even the ones that you think are like, I just love that thing so much that I can't stay away from it. You can decondition your brain to all of that and just start actually experiencing food the way that you were meant to do. These changes that I'm talking about are all changes that are within your control, right? And you can always choose whether you want to do them or not. It's completely up to you. But no matter what other people are doing, where you are, what foods are on offer, you will be able to choose. And that's all I would want for you. And then you can make your mind up about what decision you want to make from a place of knowing that you are the one in control, because we never want to eat when we think that we're not in control. These are the steps that I'm teaching in my free challenge, Master Your Cravings challenge. And if you want to dig a little bit deeper into these steps and you want my help to actually sort of polish it up and make sure that it's actually effective for you, you might want to join the challenge. And we're actually starting tomorrow. So today is the last day that you can sign up for this challenge. There will be more challenges, but it might take me a couple of months to get there. So we're starting tomorrow. So if you want to join this challenge, you can go to the webpage pimjansson.com/challenge, and you just sign up there. Completely free, and you will get all the information that you need emailed to you. I will also put the link in the show notes, so you can just, if you don't have something to write on right now, just go and check it out later. There's no problem. So the first step that we cover in the challenge is always your reason for why you want to stop eating the carbs. So we are digging really deep into that reason. Something like, I want to lose weight, or I just want to feel better. It won't cut it. I'm sorry, but that's not a good enough reason. And I'm not saying that you don't feel it, that you're not motivated, and that you don't want it, but it's never going to beat the feeling of you wanting to eat those carbs in the moment when you have those cravings. So these reasons are never going to motivate you to quit. So we want to find out why those surface reasons, that's what I like to call them, are important to you. And when we start digging, we start all the rational reasons that you're going to give me for why you want to quit, to you're going to move over to more of emotional reasons for why you want to do this. And these emotional reasons, they are a reflection of your true values and your true desires. And so when you tap into those true values and desires and those reasons, that's when you can find true motivation. And then you can use this as fuel to help you through this process. So whenever you're in doubt, if you have your true reason, you can just start connecting to that reason, and you will find that motivation even when you have cravings. This is just a really good way of making sure that you always have a backup plan. Keep that true reason in the back of your mind, and that will fuel you. Is how you can take yourself through this process of quitting while showing yourself a great deal of compassion, because we like to use the stick, and that's never a good way of doing it. So use the carrot instead. You don't have to eat the carrot. You just need to use it to motivate yourself. And be kind to yourself. Be encouraging. Be your best supporter when you're doing this, and be understanding of why you are behaving the way that you're doing. We can be disappointed in ourselves, that's fine, but we don't need to beat ourselves up about it. We can come from a place of compassion and understand why we were doing it. But we never want to beat ourselves up about not doing something perfectly, because when we do that, we just reinforce the belief that we are not good enough, or that we're not able to do it, or we're useless, or whatever we're telling ourselves. And that's not going to feel good either. And the stronger this belief is that you're not capable of doing it, the more likely you obviously are to fail in the future. So we want to turn this around, and we want to be understanding. So we want to figure out why we did something. So I want you to embrace your humanness. No one is perfect. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect throughout this whole process, and that's okay. And then just be a little bit understanding of where you're coming from, what happened. And then also hold yourself accountable without beating yourself up. So we can look at the reasons for why you didn't do it, and we can figure out what we would like to do differently, and move forward from there with that knowledge that the next time this happens, I'm going to implement this knowledge. And hopefully, you're going to do it perfectly the next time. So we're just learning from our experiences. That usually trips people up is that we have a lot of beliefs about why we should not quit the carbs, right? So whether you're aware of these or not is a completely different matter. Some people are, and some people are not. They just think, I want to quit, but somehow I'm not quitting, and I don't understand why. So we're just sort of uncovering all of those beliefs and have a thorough look at them to see if these are beliefs that we want to keep, or if we want to get rid of them. We get to choose. And then we start creating new beliefs that we want to start believing. And you might think, how am I going to do that? By practicing. I'm not saying that it's instant, and you might find it hard, but when you have started thinking those beliefs that you want to believe, it's easier. You just need to keep reminding yourself about them. And this is super powerful, because what you believe determines how you will feel about quitting. If you believe that quitting is going to give you everything that you need and want in life, you're going to be motivated to do it. But if you think that if your belief is that quitting is going to be painful and I'm going to feel like shit, that's not going to be motivating, and you're going to try to avoid it. So what thoughts do you want to believe about quitting the carbs? So this is going to determine everything, because your emotions are probably going to determine what you're going to do next, whether you're going to give in to the craving or not, and therefore determine how successful you're going to be. And then we're getting ready to do the work, which is on day 4. So we start building awareness. When you feel as if you are addicted to carbs, it's because you are reacting to your cravings. Like you're just letting this neural pathway in your brain that you practice many, many times, you just let it run its course, and you end up eating whatever it is that you're craving. But most people, they don't even think about what cravings are, because we have never been taught this. I thought, a craving is a body signal that tells me that I need to go and eat. That was literally what I thought about cravings, and I found them extremely annoying, and I wished that they weren't there, because they were just causing me a lot of pain. I just wanted to get rid of them. All of this is a really, really bad strategy. So if you're there, just listen to what I have to say and try to change that, because that is not useful and it's never going to help you. So when you think that cravings are just like body signals, then you just think that it's something physiological that is trying to tell you something that your body wants. But it's not about what your body wants or needs. It's about what your brain is craving. And it's always craving a reward. It always wants you to feel good. It's just looking for that instant gratification. And that's how you got into this trouble in the first place. Because we have foods that we're not designed to eat, and they just kind of lights up that reward center to a much higher degree than what is natural. And that's how we get hooked on it. When you start building awareness about what's happening, and you notice that, oh, when I do this, then I have thoughts about it, which will make me crave chocolate. That's when you can start changing this response. So I usually use the example like you go to the supermarket, you're going to go and buy some food, step in the door, and instantly you might notice how you are salivating for something. That's the craving. What happened is that you stepped inside the door and you thought, I think I want something. That's the thought. And then you started salivating, but often we don't even think about the thought. It just all happens so quickly. What I want you to do is just like start paying attention to what is happening and note what is happening so that you have that knowledge and then that you're able to change it. And that's what we do on day 5. So that's when I'm going to teach you how to not respond to your cravings in a way that is very sustainable and won't drive you crazy. So I'm not saying that it will be easy the first few times that you do this, but it's actually really simple to do. And it's just a skill that you need to practice. And once you start practicing it, you are going to notice how it will become easier and easier over time. And I want to share something from a client of mine. So this is the moment that I'm always waiting for when the penny drops. So this is what he sent me. He said, super paradoxical, the less I resist the cravings, the easier it is to not go through with them. And I want to let that sink in because I keep telling all my clients this, but no one understands this until they get it. But they're like, okay, what's she talking about? I'm not really sure. And I thought it was so brilliantly put. I mean, it's super simple, but it is really true. The less you resist a craving, the easier it's going to be to just sit with it and allow that craving to be there. And that is what I'm teaching you in day 5. Whoops, removed the wrong one. Let's remove that one. When you can learn how to be okay with having a craving without responding to it, that's when it's going to become easy. So I teach you how to stop fighting those cravings. Because when you make peace with the cravings, that's when you're getting ahead of the game. Like that's when it's going to start get easy. And after a while, you're going to notice that you have fewer cravings. And it's not necessarily that you have fewer cravings, it's just that they're not as strong. And your brain has now learned that we don't really react to these cravings. So it's putting it on autopilot very slowly. And eventually that's going to happen for pretty much all the cravings. So that's what we're doing when we're practicing. We're trying to practice enough until we have it on autopilot. And on day 6, I'm talking a little bit about how to face challenging circumstances. So that would be anytime you're eating out or a social event or when you go to the beach and you know that everyone around you is going to eat ice cream and whatever is challenging for you. You can apply it to anything. And I could probably do a 7-day challenge on this alone. So we are just scratching a little bit on the surface, but I think it's important that you get familiar with the basics so that you know how to start handling this, because many of us are failing as a result of not being able to handle these events. And then when we fail during these events, we just allow ourselves to go on a binge. So I don't want that to happen. I want you to be prepared and have an idea about what you can do when you're actually going somewhere. So I just want you to get a few examples, start practicing in your mind what you could do, and just be prepared. Because we don't like showing up unprepared. It's when we don't have a plan that we're going to fail. So we always want to have a plan. And on the last day, you're going to just make a commitment to yourself, because I don't want you to go through this whole challenge and just forget about it. I say it's hard work. It's not hard work because it's actually quite fun to do this, but you're going to have to spend a little bit of time. So if you're going to take part in this challenge, can you spend an hour to watch the video and do the homework per day? If you have an hour, you have plenty of time. If you have half an hour, you might still be able to do it. So it doesn't have to take a lot of time, but then you want to start practice around day 4 or 5 as well, and just get those repetitions in so that you get better at this skill. So make sure if you want to join, that you have a little bit of time to set aside each day to just keep up with it, because consistency is key. Without it, you're not going to get any results. And I really do want everyone who joins the challenge to actually get the results. So the hard work that you're going to put in, I want you to get a return on that investment. And I'm going to say this now, you're not going to be able to break an addiction in 1 week, but you can build the foundation that you need and learn the strategy that will allow you to succeed. You can do all of that in 1 week. And that is what we're doing. Then you take this strategy and you take your foundation and you go about your life and you keep practicing. And within a few weeks, you might be sugar-free or carb-free. And you might feel amazing and totally okay with it, not fighting it anymore. That's what I want for you. So if you want to take part of that, I should say, sign up now, today, because we're starting tomorrow. So after that, I'm going to close registrations again, so you can't sign up once we started. So just go to pimjansson.com/challenge and sign up. And if you want to do this on your own for some reason, I'm just going to repeat these 7 steps if you want to take some notes and get that happening. I don't know why you would want to do it alone, because the challenge is free and you get my help, but that's up to you. The first thing you want to do is to figure out your big reason. Why is it, or what is it that you want? Why is it that you want to quit? Why is that important to you? And number 2, show yourself a great deal of self-compassion. And as you go through this process and learn from your mistakes, just acknowledge that you're a human being and there's nothing wrong with the way that you have done it. We all make mistakes. We all have to make mistakes in order to learn and for things to actually sink into our brain. Number 3, figure out what beliefs you have around eating carbs right now and why you wouldn't want to quit. Because if you don't know what they are, they're going to sit there, they're going to poison your mind, and they're going to prevent you from quitting. Number 4, start becoming aware of what is happening when you have a craving. What's the trigger? What are you thinking? How does that feel in your body? And then learn how to not allow a craving without giving into it. How to allow a craving without giving into it. So learn how to sit with a craving. Number 6, know how to handle any social events or other challenging circumstances where there are carbs available. Learn how to do that. Make sure that you have a plan before you go there and then just follow through. And number 7, make a commitment to yourself to implement these changes into your life. A good commitment would be, I commit to practicing this every time I have a challenge, a craving. A commitment that wouldn't be so useful is to say, I commit to never eating carbs again. We can already hear that that might not work. But you can always commit to actually practicing every time you have a craving. That's easy to do. It's completely doable. Okay? So that was it for today. I'm hoping that you will join us in the challenge. It's always great fun to see the work that you guys are doing. That sometimes I have a few people and it's like they're just blooming. Everything comes out, everything is changing. They have aha experience after aha experience, and that's so bloody inspirational to me. And if you're in the group, you're gonna see that as well, and you just like read other people's comments, leave your own comments, help other people out. They're gonna help you back, I can promise you that. The more you put in, the more you're gonna get out of it, and you might discover things about yourself that you had no idea about. So don't miss out, come and join us, and I shall see you again next week. Bye bye for now.